March 2020, the world is shutting down, airports empty, streets empty, hospitals overwhelmed, and the stock market dropping 34% in 33 days. Imagine 34% in just 33 days. Trillions of euros wiped from the global market in just over a month. Financial news running 24 hours a day. Every headline screaming the same thing. Sell, get out, save what you have left. This is the end. And millions of people listened to that. They sold everything. They locked in their losses and sat on cash terrified, watching and waiting for the right moment to get back in. On the other hand, the people who did nothing, who turned off the news, who ignored the panic and left their index fund completely alone, they doubled their money within 18 months. This is not a lucky outcome. This is not just a coincidence. This is exactly what the history has shown us. This happens every single time when markets crash. Now, the people who panic lose. The people who stay win. Every single time, without exception, across every crash in modern financial history. Now, you have to understand one thing. The problem is that nobody prepares us for what actually a crash feels like. It is our money on the table and we have to react. That's at least what we are thinking. So, this is the video all about today. Let's talk about crashes. Welcome to Nobody Told Mike. I'm Mike, ex-director across Big Four firms. This channel exists for one reason, to have the financial conversation nobody had with us growing up. Before we go any further, everything in this video is for educational and entertainment purpose only. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing here is financial advice. Your specific situation, your risk tolerance, and your financial circumstances are unique to you. Always do your own research and speak to a qualified financial professional before making any investment decision. Now, let's talk about crashes. I want to be honest with you about something. So, during the 2008 financial crisis, I was working inside one of the largest financial institutions in the world, and I watched something happen that changed how I think about money forever, because the people at the very top, the directors, the partners, the managing directors, the ones who genuinely understood markets and financial systems better than almost anyone on the planet, they were scared too. Of course, not public, not in meetings, but privately, in corridors, over coffee. The fear was real, and I watched some of them make exactly the same mistakes ordinary people make. They moved money, they changed their positions, they reacted to the noise instead of the data. And almost every single one of them regretted it within 2 years. Because here's what I learned inside those institutions during one of the worst financial crises in our modern history. The markets do not care about your feelings. It does not care about the news cycle. It does not care about how scared you are. It has one direction over any meaningful period of time, and that direction is up. In my opinion, what kills most investors is not the crash. It is the decision they make during it, because they panic and they sell. Every crash in history has one thing in common. Let me show you something that will permanently change how you feel about market crashes. Every single major market crash in modern history, the Great Depression, Black Monday, 87, the dot-com crash, 2000, the financial crisis, 2008, the COVID crash, 2020, every single one of them was followed by a recovery that reached new all-time highs. Look at the graphics I picked for you. What are they telling us? The market will always recover. Every single one. The market has never crashed and not recovered. Not once. In over 100 years of modern financial markets, so every crash has been a temporary event followed eventually by new heights. Now, here is the uncomfortable question that the fact raises. If we know this, if the evidence is this clear, this consistent, this overwhelming, why do millions of people still sell when market drops? The answer is not stupidity. The answer is not ignorance. The answer is just biology or psychology, how you want to call it. Look, your brain is working against you. Human beings are not wired for long-term investing. We are wired for survival. So when something threatens us, our brain has just one job: protect us right now, not in 10 years, just right now. And when your investment account drops 20%, your brain cannot tell the difference between a small drop in stock price and a dangerous lion. The feeling is the same: danger, act now, get out. This is called loss aversion. It is one of the most well-documented findings in our behavioral science. What is this telling us? Humans feel the pain of losing money approximately twice as strongly as they feel the pleasure of gaining the same amount. So, losing 1,000 feels twice as bad as gaining 1,000. So when you're dropping account portfolio by 5,000 in a week, the emotional pain you feel is equivalent to the joy you would feel from gaining 10,000. Your brain is mathematically biased towards selling. It is not a corrective flow. It is evolution. Understanding this does not make the feelings go away, but it does let you name it. And when you can name it, you can choose not to act on it. And that's one of the many reasons people choose to not invest, because they know they cannot control their emotions in such cases. So what is this telling us? We need to work on this. So the most expensive decision most investors ever make, and I will show you something. Let me show you the real cost of panic selling with a simple example. You invest 10,000 into a global index fund. The market drops 30%. Your balance is now 7,000. You panic, you sell. You look in at 3,000 loss and sit on cash waiting for the right moment to get back in. And here's the problem. Nobody rings a bell when the market hits the bottom. Nobody sends you a notification saying, hey, right now, get back in now. And you wait. So while you are waiting, the market recovers 10%, then 15, then 20. And now, what happens? You are waiting for a dip that never comes back down to where you sold. So this happens to me many times. So most people who sell during a crash buy back insignificantly higher than what they were sold. They looked in the losses and missed the recovery. The investor who did nothing, who sat on their hands, turned off the news and left their 10,000 alone, still had their 7,000 at the bottom, then 8,000, then 9,000, then 11,000, then 14, without doing a single thing. Timing the markets always beats timing the market. So, what to actually do when the market crashes? So here is the practical answer. The actual thing to do when the markets are falling and every headline is telling you the world is ending, number one, turn off the financial news completely. Financial news exists to generate clicks and views. Fear generates more clicks than calm. This is something proven by the science. The news cycle during a crash is not information. It is noise dressed up as information. So just turn it off. Number two, do not check your portfolio every day. And this is what I am telling also my son. He is looking every single day to see if the 2000 investment is now worth 1 million. And then when it drops a bit, he's upset and says, I should not invest my money that my grandma gave to me. But he's only 12. So looking at your portfolio when markets are crashing is like weighing yourself every hour when you are trying to lose weight. It tells you nothing useful, and it makes you feel terrible. I, for example, check my portfolio just once a month, maximum. Now, the next is keep your automatic contribution running. And you have to see it from a different perspective. Not like I lost money or I gained money, because in fact, if you don't sell, you didn't look in the losses or the gains. So when markets drop, think like that. Your monthly contributions buys now more units of your index fund for the same amount of money. A market crash is technically a sale of the asset you want to own. Your automatic investment is now buying at a discount price. Do not stop it. Number 4. Remember the chart. Every crash in history, every single one followed by a recovery to new highs. Stick it somewhere you can see it, because when everything feels like it is falling apart, the chart is the thing that keeps you rational. Number 5, do nothing. That's it. That's the whole strategy. Do nothing. The investors who build real wealth across market cycles did not outthink the market. They outlasted it. Doing nothing is generally the hardest thing in the investing, because it feels like inaction. It feels irresponsible. It feels like you should be doing something, but doing nothing during a crash is actually not passive. It is actually the most active, deliberated decision you can make. I want to come back to March 2020 because I remember that period very specifically. Not just the market data, I remember the feeling. I remember reading the headlines. I remember checking the numbers. I remember that quiet, creeping voice that said, maybe this time is different. Maybe this time it does not recover. That voice is always there during a crash. It is there for everyone, from the most sophisticated institutional investors to someone who just bought their first index fund. The voice does not discriminate. The difference between the people who built wealth and the people who didn't was that the voice was quieter for them. It was that they had decided in advance, before the crash happened, what they were going to do when it came. They had a plan, and the plan said, do nothing. This is the gift I want you to give you today, not just the knowledge that crashes are temporary, but a decision made right now, before the next one arrives, about exactly what are you going to do when it does. You are going to turn off the news. Stop checking your portfolio every day. Keep your contributions running. Remember the chart and do nothing. Decide that now, before you need it, because when you need it, it will be too late to think clearly. This video is part of the Money 101 series here on Nobody Told Mike. If you have not watched the first 4, ETF, Compound Interest, Index Fund, and How to Buy Your First Investment, they are all linked in the description and in the playlist below. Watch them in order. By the end of the series, you will have a complete foundation that most people never get. 2 things before you go that I genuinely think will help you. The first is the Nobody Told Mike community at NobodyToldMike.com. This is where people who are on this journey, learning, starting, building, come together to ask questions, share what they are going through, and hold each other accountable. When the next market crash comes, and it will come, having a community of people around you who understand the strategy and reminds you to do nothing is worth more than any financial tool I could recommend you. Come and join us, it is free. Link is in the description below. The second is the free portfolio tracker at NobodyToldMike.com. Put your numbers in today and see exactly what your investment looks like across 10, 20 and 30 years, including what happens if you panic sell during a crash versus staying in. Seeing that comparison with your own numbers is the thing that makes this real. Now, the question for this week, and I want a real answer in the comments. Have you ever panic sold an investment? Or been tempted to? What stopped you? Or what made you do it? I read every single comment and I will reply to everyone. See you in the next one.